welcome back, and today we are going to start with IAM, Identity and Access Management. So whenever we hit any API in AWS, or let's say from UI we are accessing AWS, so at internally it will hit certain API only, right? So for example, you are trying to access S3 bucket. Now when the request reach till S3, so it will ask IAM that, hey, this user identity X wants to perform action Y on resource Z. Should I allow or deny? So you can read it in this manner. Identity X. So this answer who? Who wants to perform action Y? Action, you can say that operation. On resource Z, you can say that this as your which part. So who? Let's say user 1. User 1 wants this operation. He want on S3, he want get object API access. On S3 only, it want put object access. On DynamoDB service, it want put item operation access. So you can say that it's a service operation. So who wants what? Like operation API on which resource? So let's say if you have an S3, you have multiple S3 bucket. Let's say prod bucket, dev bucket, sandbox bucket. So which specific resource? So you want get put operation on this resource or this resource, this resource. These are all individual resources, you can say. Okay. So in every call in AWS, go with this flow. Okay, so it goes to the IAM and check. Hey, this user wants to access of this operations on this resource. Shall we allow or not? Okay, so this is just like reading it like user Shreyansh wants to invoke S3 get object API on this bucket. So this is your resource, this is your action, and this is my identity. Identity X wants to perform action Y on resource Z. Should I allow or deny? Okay. Now very important part. In AWS, every API call is denied by default. So whenever you are trying to access any API, by default it's denied. Okay. So we have to provide explicit permission that yes, this user on this resource can perform this all operation. So we have to explicitly give the permission. Otherwise, by default, everything is denied. So how to give this permission? That's where IAM comes into the picture. So till now, what we have done is we have set up an account. Okay, we have already have set up an account, and we have got the root user. Now this root user has unlimited power. It can even delete the account too. So now assume that in your team you has 5 members. Okay, let's say team member 1, team member 2, let's say multiple team members. Now if they all use the same root user account or credentials, then it's very risky. What if anyone by mistake delete any resource which you don't want to, and you won't be able to know who did this? So using the root user credential across a team is extremely risky because everyone get unrestricted access with no proper isolation or accountability. So for example, in a team, if I have 2 developer, 2 DevOps member and 1 finance person. So developers, I only want to give, let's say, permission to restart EC2 or enough permission to debug an app. But I should not give any permission to delete S3 bucket or DB. Similarly, to DevOps person, I need to give permission to provision and manage infrastructure like EC2, instant, load balancer, etc. So DevOps have different permission. Developers has different permission. Similarly, finance permission has only read-only permission. So different permission. So single root user is not sufficient for a real organization. We know that. If in your team, or let's say you are doing a startup and currently you are the only team member or you are one more person, then I think root user is okay. But as the team grows and when different team members comes in which they have different roles and you have to restrict that they should not perform any other unintended operations, then IAM comes into the picture. Okay, so these are different entities, IAM entities: user, policies, group, role. Okay, so in this video I will cover user, then in the second video I will cover policy and group, and in the third, role. Because it's a big topic, so I don't want to club into the one single video. So I will club into 3 like this. Okay, so let's start with IAM user. So user represent either human or long-lived program. You can say that it's a long-lived program. So whatever the credentials you will get, that's long-lived. Okay, so let's say for example you will get username, password. Until and unless you won't change, this username, password is valid. Similarly, let's say you are working with an SDK from your code, from your Java code, you are accessing S3 bucket. So you will need access ID, access key ID, and secret. So these are also long lived. It's not get automatically rotated. You have to do that. So user represent either human or long lived program. So this is my program. Each user has ARN number. ARN is like Amazon resource name. Okay, unique identifier for the resource. So it's a unique ID, you can say that, for the this resource. Then each user has the credentials, either username, password, or access ID or secret key. And each user has certain permissions. We will see that. So now first we will do, let's create a user. So let's also see this one. So till now we haven't created any user. All we have is root user. So I am clicking here, sign in using root user email. So in the account setup part, we have already done that. So currently I am logging as root user. Okay, so now I am signed in as root user. So let's say we'll go to the IAM. So you can go with all service or you can search here IAM. Now in the IAM, click here. Let me zoom it a bit. Here you are seeing IAM users. So click here and then click create user. Okay, so now we are at this step. So we have clicked here. Okay, so now we have to provide a username. Whatever the user you have to, let's say Shreyansh. This is the first user I am creating, Shreyansh. Do nothing, just click next, next. That's all, and create user. So now I have created one user. So now here if you see, user is created. So we have done this step and user is created. Okay, now we are good. Now here if you see, we have two options. I told you the user can have like their credentials, username, password, or access key and secret key if they want to access from the code. So now when we have created the user, so here if you see IAM user Shreyansh, this is the user we created. So now we want this user also to log into the console. So if you go to the security credentials, okay, go to the security credential, click on enable console access. So auto generate password. So username is Shreyansh and the password, if you want to set up a custom password, okay, otherwise auto generated password. So you can do that. Also, if you want that when Shreyansh user, which I am creating, when it will log in for the first time, we will pop up like, hey, change your password. You must create a new password. Okay. If you want that, you can select it, but we don't want that. We are just doing it for testing purpose. Okay. And we don't want to change the password for now. Let's say I am going with auto generated password for now. Clicking enable console access. Okay. So you just download this or you just save this detail. So you just save this sign in URL. So new incognito window, I am just pasting this URL which I copied here, console sign in URL. So now here, see account ID, it autofilled, IAM user. So this is your username, Shreyansh, and the password. Just copy it, paste it, sign in. So now here if you see that, which user? IAM user Shreyansh got login successfully through console. Okay. So now here, just try it. Let's say I am going S3 bucket. You are trying to access the bucket. Let's say, let me click here, general purpose bucket. What you are seeing? You don't have permission to list bucket. Correct? So it's okay because we have only at this point of time only created the user. We have not given any permission yet. So we have seen the manage console. So we have created a username, password, and we are able to sign in as a Shreyansh. And also, if you want your code to access it, so you can generate access keys also, create access key. So here if you see, you are getting all this option, command line interface, local code, application running, third party service, application running outside AWS, others. Okay, so you can say that it is asking, this is optional, not optional, it is asking because it can give you a suggestion. Let's say I am going application running on AWS compute service. Let's say I want my instance to access the S3 bucket. So I am choosing this, that okay, you plan to use this access key to enable application code running on AWS compute service like Amazon EC2 to use your AWS account. So it just gives you an alternative recommended way. Okay. So we will also see that, but that's okay. For now, you can choose anything which you want. Either local code you are testing it or you want it to run on EC2 instance. So you can choose anything. So now here if you see, this is optional. I don't want to create any tag, create access key. So now I got an access key. So I copied it and let's say I paste it in the code. Generally, remember that access ID and the secret key is never ever stored in application.properties like this. This is just a testing. So that's why I'm storing it. Otherwise, it need to be stored in a vault. Otherwise, it need to be stored in a vault properly. Okay. It should never be stored here in application.properties and pushed to the Git. Okay. Your account might get compromised. So the secret key, you have to paste it here. Let's say this is the secret key. Now here if you see, this is just a testing code, right? This is just a testing code I have written, where now from this application, I am using the Shreyansh user, access key, secret key. These are long lived. Okay. Until unless you won't change, this will remain applicable. So I created an S3 client. Don't worry about this. We will see when we will work with S3. So all I wanted to show that, okay, now I am using this access key, secret key, and I'm trying to hit list of buckets. What all? So the same thing what we did during the console, right? General purpose bucket, list of all the buckets. So we got, you don't have permission. The similarly, we are trying to do with the code, but with access ID and the secret key. Okay. So let's start the server. And let's hit this buckets. User Shreyansh is not authorized to perform list all my buckets. Okay, because no policy present, no permission present. 403 access denied. So one thing is clear, that what we have done is we have created the user. We have created the user, but the user has no permission yet. And even though this is testing, I would say that even the access key which you have, if it is compromised, always change it. Okay, so you can delete it, you can create new access key. Let's say delete this. Okay, so I have deleted this access key. So whenever you think that your access key is compromised, either you can change it, you can create new. Okay, but at this point of time, what we have done is we have created the user Shreyansh. So we have created the user Shreyansh, and we have generated the console username password. So we goes to the security credentials. We have enabled the console access. We have generated the password. Okay, and we got this detail also. So I told you that you can save this URL, username, password, and through this URL you can log in as this IAM user Shreyansh. Okay, so that's what I told you, that copy this URL, and once you open this URL, you can put your username, IAM username, and the password, and you would be able to log in successfully. Okay, and also when we try to access, currently we see access denied because we have no permission. And the same thing which I showed here is that we can also generate API key plus secret key for this user. Okay, and here you will see that create access key. You can choose the option which you are doing. Currently, let's say we want our for Spring Boot application. So we have generated the access key and the secret key. In our code, we are using this key, secret key, and just for safety purpose, this is just for testing purpose. So never put your access key and secret key like this, and never push it to Git. Always stored in vault, and read this value from the vault. Okay. And when we try to access the Postman, the same S3 endpoint, the same S3 endpoint list of buckets, we are get Shreyansh is not authorized. The same issue which we got here, but accessing through API. Got it? So that's okay. We will cover this, like how to give permission to the user. But at this point of time, we are clear with like how to create a user in our AWS account. Okay. Next, we will start with the policy. Very, very important. How to give permission to the user.